In just a week or so, the Japanese whaling fleet will set sail to the Southern Ocean for the controversial annual whale cull, all in the name of science. This year they're targeting more than 1,000 minkies, 50 fin whales, and for the first time the grizzly quota will include humpbacks. The inclusion of this magnificent creature has angered many Australians and reignited an international furore. But the Japanese argue they must kill to get the genetic makeup of the mammal. Now scientists in Australia say they've got the evidence to shoot that claim down. They've developed a technique that they say delivers all the answers without bloodshed. Environment reporter Sarah Clark has this report.
Getting this close to a gigantic marine mammal is an exhilarating experience. Every year, thousands of Australians witness this extraordinary spectacle firsthand. Here in Queensland's Hervey Bay, the humpback has become comfortable with the growing number of onlookers. As they migrate south, the bay becomes a playground where the mothers approach the boats with their calves and interact with the whale watchers. These humpbacks now face the threat of harpoons for the first time in more than 30 years, when Japan launches its controversial annual scientific hunt.
We were really shocked to learn that the Japanese were planning to start targeting humpback whales because it makes no scientific sense.
Japanese fishery authorities argue that killing whales is the only way to get accurate scientific data, including the whale's sex, its ability to reproduce, and most importantly, its age.
The best way to get scientific information about whales is a combination of lethal and non-lethal researches. With those two researches, we can get much more information for the appropriate management of whales.
Opponents argue Japan's so-called scientific whaling is a cover for selling and eating whale meat, and killing for science is a sham.
Woo, beautiful!
Australian scientists believe they've developed a humane alternative. They're working on a reliable method of getting the scientific data they need without killing the whale.
It's much better to have an approximate age of a living whale than a more exact age of a dead whale. Here it is.
Each year, as the whales migrate along the east coast of Australia, this group of scientists keep count of the whale pods en route. The real work begins when the whale breaches or launches out of the water.
1, 2, 3, yep, 3. Oh, yes. Yeah, there's 4 whales.
The sheer weight of the hit means it often sheds flakes of skin.
Okay, I think that looks like a bit of skin.
Using a kitchen sieve strapped to a piece of wood, scientists scoop up what's left behind. And it's this bit of DNA that reveals the whale's genetic makeup.
It's a nice little bit of skin. The skin identity of the whales. They can tell you the relationships to the other whales, who's the father, who's the mother, etc. They can tell you the sex of the whales. And when our research is complete, we'll also be able to add an age factor to that information.
Well, that was a good day on the water, Peter.
It was great, wasn't it?
In the lab, the chief scientist,
absolutely.
Peter Harrison, and his researchers are unlocking the clues to the whale's age, testing a large number of skin samples. They've taken the DNA test one step further, examining the tips of the chromosomes where they can distinguish between calves and the adults.
So it looks like we've got the calf here.
Yeah.
And probably the mother, with the shorter telomeres, and again another older whale. It's a new way of identifying the age of large whales. And it can be applied not only to humpback whales, but once that's successful, we then plan to apply it to a whole range of other species like blue whales and some of the other international whales.
Knowing a whale's exact age will help scientists get a better picture of how well the humpback is recovering and how to better manage their population. It's estimated about 10,000 whales travel along the east coast each year.
prior to the last period of commercial whaling, they numbered probably in the order of 40,000. They were reduced to about 100 to 150 individuals, so they were almost made extinct. It's taken them 40 years to claw their way back to recovery, and it'll probably take another 60 years for them to get back to anywhere the numbers that they were prior to whaling. So he should be out here somewhere.
Yeah. Wally Franklin has set up one of the most comprehensive photographic databases of humpbacks in the world.
And we're photographing their bodies, their dorsal fins, and as you saw this morning, the underside flukes. And this information is effectively a natural tagging of these whales.
I recognised it by its dorsal, and I realised it was a whale that we named Beluga.
Over the past 14 years, Wally Franklin and his wife Trish have taken 35,000 photos and have a catalogue of 2,000 flukes. They can now match the whale's markings with the past photos, giving every whale an identity.
The more we get to know these individual whales over the years and see how many times they're giving birth and so on, you get a fair idea of the breeding group. So it's really important to keep track on these beautiful creatures and also see who are the main escorts and what intricacies are there in a pod of whales.
Over the coming weeks, Japan's whaling fleet will again set sail for the Southern Ocean. This year, the catch will include 50 humpbacks.
It's not enough to get samples of minke whale. We need the biological information on other whale species, such as humpback whale and fin whale.
The whalers are going to concentrate on the biggest whales, and the biggest whales in the humpback species are the mature reproducing females. So you've got, if you like, a double effect on the population.
Also at stake is a whale watching industry worth at least $350 million a year in Australia.
You've got to remember that probably 80% of this group of whales is under 20 years old, so they have no memory of the prior whaling period. And they've grown up in an environment where interaction with whales and whale boats and people is safe.
These scientists believe the final results of their groundbreaking research can't come soon enough.
It will literally destroy the last vestige excuse that the Japanese use for their so-called scientific research program. What we're saying is you don't need to kill whales in order to age them.
Whaling is outdated, it's outmoded, it's for products that nobody needs, and it's incredibly inhumane and cruel.